Hello and welcome to this week's Fundamentals. My name is Thomas, I'm the host of this channel. This week I received a request to make a very basic cryptocurrency video. And the topic of this video will be reasons why you should care about cryptocurrency. So this is really for the beginners. The reason why I created this video is because we are currently heading into a bear market and the interest is definitely decreasing. But this should actually be the time to be interested in cryptocurrency. Because prices are low, we're far away from all-time highs, and this is the time when the money is made. But before you invest into cryptocurrencies, you need to have reasons to invest in cryptocurrencies. So that is the main topic of this video. The reasons why I believe you should be interested in cryptocurrencies. So with that said, let's jump into this week's video. It has already been 4 years ago that I've done my first presentation about cryptocurrencies. I did this at my former employer. So I took some of the slides to now present it to you. So in order to understand the need for cryptocurrencies, we have to understand the need for currencies or money. So in order to understand that, we have to look at the history of money. So how has it been in the past? How has it evolved? How was the evolution of money? So we started in hunting and gathering collective. So while we had hunters and gatherers, they would trade in order to live collective. So the hunters would hunt for food and the collectors would collect for berries and they would trade. They would exchange their food. Then there was the growth in individualism. So instead of living in groups, we would become living more alone or in families. From that perspective, we needed to trade. So what would happen is that one guy would create shoes and the other one would grow apples, for example. You can do this trade, shoes for apples. But at some point, the shoemaker no longer wants apples and the apple maker will no longer need shoes. So there is a problem because both parties need to benefit. So in the earliest transactions for money, we saw shells or separate stones. But obviously, it was very hard to see the value of shells and stones. Then we started 500 before Christ, the first coins. The coins were made out of silver and gold, and they had a certain weight. And this was not always controllable. So what would happen is they would melt off the outsides of coins and create extra coins out of it. So it was not very valuable because it was not controllable. So that's why now if you see at your euro coins, you can see a ripple around it. This ripple is to verify that nothing has been taken off that currency. But the coins back then were really of silver and gold, so they really had value. Then in 118, they started to have banknotes. So now people that first received silver coins and gold coins that were truly scarce, now they received a piece of paper. That was a really big move for those people to understand like, hey, what is going on now? Why do I get this piece of paper that doesn't really have fungible value for me? So in 1816, there was the gold standard, meaning that every piece of paper that you held gave you the rights on gold. So whenever the currency would go to nothing, you could always request gold. So there was some security behind the money. But in 1930, we decided to get off the gold standard. So we would just go back to just a piece of paper. And the only reason why this piece of paper was working is because we believed in it. But obviously, this is not scarce at all. So this wouldn't last for a long time as money. Then what do we need? What are the characteristics and the purpose of money? So first of all, it needs to be portable, because if cows are money or big pieces of rocks, you can't carry them with you all the time. So it needs to be portable. You need to be able to carry it as easy as possible. Next to that, it needs to be durable. We can't use bananas as a currency because they rot. So we can't use anything that rots or that gets wet or that gets destroyed very easily. We need something durable, something long lasting. It also needs to be rare because obvious if we're going to use sand as a currency, that is not rare. Everyone can just pick it up from the ground. There is no extra work needed. And when people can easily create it themselves, then why would you request it for the apples or the shoes that you made or produced? It needs to be difficult to forge or to fake. The same reason as the sand, if you have a piece of paper that is easily to forge or to fake, it also becomes not valuable because it also becomes not rare. So you have to have something that is difficult to forge and too difficult to fake. That's why the notes of the dollar and the euro have certain security values built within them. So you can verify this is real and this is not. But we have fakers and scammers that are really good at faking these notes. So that is also compared to the current paper money that we use. It's not the best way for money. Then it needs to be unique but comparable. So in order for it not to be easy to fake, you need to have a unique value on that currency. So you cannot make unlimited amounts of it, but it needs to be comparable. So everyone needs to understand that that currency gives that value. So if we see a note of 10 euros or a note of $1, we all know that it's a dollar and a euro, and we can verify it by the unique digits that you can find on the dollar. Then value is also created by general acceptation. This is not something we really had with money. This was forced on us from the government. It was a great way to control us and to control our economy, and they did right by doing it in that time. Then money needs to be abstract. So money can't have any other purpose. That is why money shouldn't be eatable. Money shouldn't be gold, because gold also has other purposes. You can melt it for jewelry. Money really needs to be abstract and the only purpose of money. So to do a very quick comparison, the current money, so the paper and the coin money, it's not optimal. We can definitely see some mistakes. And in my opinion, if we look at a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, we only have a unique value, a unique string that fits in a collection, and for Bitcoin, of 21 million strings. So if you can see here on the paper note of the euro, there is a unique number starting with X513, and on the dollar, there's a unique number that starts with D035. And these numbers is practically Bitcoin now. So it took all the weaknesses out of it and only keeps the strength. Then we go to reasons why you should care about cryptocurrency. So we have now already discussed what is the value and the purpose of money, and we have discussed the history of money. Like, think about a history. Try to explain somebody from 500 years ago that now we use credit cards and digital payments. But also try to talk somebody that used shells or leather hides to trade, that in the past and even now we use paper that is also valued for money. So you have to really be open in your mind, because the way we currently do transactions would be very weird for somebody from 500 or 1,000 years ago. So you can imagine that if we look 500 years in the future from now, we cannot really imagine how economies will work in that case. So we looked at the natural evolution of money. We are just naturally evolved from hunter and gatherers trading to money transactions, so paying with a currency that is recognized by almost everyone. Then reasons why you should care about cryptocurrency is also decentralization. Currently, everything is managed by central organizations and governments. So in the US, you have the Fed, and in Europe, you have the European Central Bank. If you have great trust in them and all the economical recessions that they caused, then you can say decentralization is not a good thing. In my opinion, decentralization is a very good thing, because it means that everyone that participates in the network has something to say about it. Then I want to talk about speed. So currently, it can take up to 2 to 5 working days for you to do a transaction. My background is in finance, and many of my ex-clients were really struggling to pay the bills. So if you're almost bankrupt, a transaction that takes 2 to 5 days can cost you your business. So if you do a transaction on Thursday afternoon, it can only be confirmed by Monday. This is not working for most businesses. This is too slow, especially in the internet, where you can deliver an Uber order. You can within a couple of minutes. Waiting 5 days for a transaction is too much. Then we go to costs. So those 5 days that a transaction takes, it still has huge fees included. And especially for the bigger amounts, the bigger the amount, the more you pay. So for cryptocurrency, depending on the currency, the fees are very low. Look at Solana, Cardano, Tezos. Ethereum and Bitcoin are more for the bigger transactions. But we're talking about cryptocurrencies in general. So the costs of transactions are lower and the speed is higher. Then opening hours. So banks have opening hours. In the weekends, they're closed, but in the weekends, we still need to do transactions. Imagine that the internet was closed for the weekend, that we had to wait until Monday, 8 o'clock for the internet to start working again. It wouldn't work. It is really the next step is just 24/7 opening hours. Crypto is always open. You can always do a transaction in the middle of the night, early in the morning. It doesn't matter. You can always do a transaction. Then it is borderless. This means that if I want to move from here to the other side of the world, I can just take my crypto with me. This doesn't work in China. When you want to move, you can't take your currency with you. The same for other currencies. They don't want you to exchange it, and besides the fact that if you have to exchange it for another currency, there's a lot more fees running into it. You can't just freely move with your money. So the fact that you can't really freely move with your money means that you don't really control your money. It's borrowed out to you from the government, but it's not really yours. Then now also the interest returns. So currently you receive 0.5% interest if you don't already have to pay on your bank account. And besides that, there's an inflation, so your money becomes less valuable 6% per year. So with the interest rate of 0.5, you're actually losing 5.5% by saving money. Saving money no longer exists. But in crypto, you can have interest returns of up to 10 to 15% per year. So that is way ahead of the inflation. So if you just save currently, you're not saving money, you're just losing 5.5% per year. Then, as last point, I wanted to discuss the evolution of the internet. So we already went from local taxis to Uber. We already went from local food deliveries to Uber Eats and Deliveroo. We went from local retail to Amazon. We went from local property rental to Airbnb. So this is a very easy move. We all accepted this. Nobody asked any questions. And I believe the same is going to happen with cryptocurrency. So we go from local banks or international banks to a whole international system that is open 24 hours, 7 days per week, has low cost, is high in speed, and is decentralized, like we all have a saying into it. So in my opinion, these are the reasons why you should care about cryptocurrency and why you should have a look into the cryptocurrency. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what else you really want to understand. Again, this video was focused on beginners, so I hope beginners became a little bit more better at understanding cryptocurrency. Leave comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.